This is the introduction to the imaging module. In this module, you'll be able to learn a little bit about how to interpret X-rays so that when we see them as part of the workup of our patients, you'll be able to recognize what they mean. As always, the objectives for the module will be things that you'll be able to do. You'll be able to explain, you'll be able to describe, you'll be able to recognize something. You'll actually be able, by the end of this module, to look at a chest X-ray and recognize some basic features. So the things that you'll be able to do at the end of this module will be to describe the very basic physics of plain film radiography. The physics of plain film radiography are actually fairly complex, but just enough to understand what you're seeing on a radiograph and why certain areas are black, certain areas are gray, and certain areas are white. You'll also be able to explain the difference between an antero-posterior, a postero-anterior, a lateral, and a cross-sectional radiographic image. You'll be able to explain the difference between a section and a prosection. So in the tissues and organization module, we were looking at sections of tissue that were fixed for slides. In radiology, this will be an important distinction between what you're actually looking at on a radiograph. You'll be able to recognize the basic radiographic densities on both plain film and CT, and the basic densities are air, mineral, and soft tissue. And finally, you'll be able to determine the approximate boundaries of some large regions on plain films and computed tomography images. So for this module, we won't be looking at musculoskeletal tissues. We'll actually be looking at chest X-rays. And I chose chest X-rays because most of us have had them, even though we may have looked at them and not understood entirely what we're looking at. But chest X-rays are probably something that most people have had at one time or another. So as always, for each model, we'll start with a review question. And it's a concept that will be important as a review for things that we'll be learning about in this module. So we're looking at a figure, and you're to determine which of the following statements about the figure is true.